Hey, News Taco folks, I'm Victor Landa. I wanted to talk to you this morning about something I've been noticing in Texas, and I want to correlate what's happening in Texas to the rest of the country, because we've been talking here at News Taco about how important it is to notice the advances or the battles in Texas and how those are the future battles across the country. As Texas is now, so will be the rest of the country. And the thing that's important right now in the Texas legislature, as it is in legislatures across the country, but especially in Texas, when it comes to the Latino community, is the battle about redistricting. The battle has to do mainly with numbers, and that's the way it always is. In the past, the numbers were things that were discussed sometimes in back rooms, and there were hearings, but a lot of this was done between the legislators themselves, a lot of them opting more for political survival than for actual equity or following the letter of the law. And that was Texas business as usual. I've usually called it a swap meet more than anything else. What's happened this time is that the shift in population has been so great. The shift in the rise in Latino population has been so marked in Texas that there are a number of new congressional districts that are to be traced in this redistricting process. And there is a case to be made that the significant number of those new districts should be Latino. There was a 4.2 million increase in the population of Texas since the year 2000. And of those 4.2 million, 62% were Latino. That's 2.6 million. I did the math. 62% of the 4.2 million has been Latino. So you would imagine that 62% of the new congressional districts would be Latino as well. But there are some formulas that come into play that we're not talking about population as a whole. We're talking about voting age population, people that are over 18 and are citizens and that are potential voters. But even then, there is a case to be made that we want or need more Latino majority districts than there presently are. MALDEF, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, is asking for or wants to have, will fight for 5 more congressional districts that are Latino majority. The guy that's at the head of the committee that's putting all this together, a gentleman by the name of Bert Solomons, he is the House Redistricting Chair, he wants one for Latinos. MALDEF says that they've looked at the numbers, they've looked at the maps, they've looked at the population. We should have 5. And those 5 should be in specific areas of the state, in West Texas, in the Panhandle, in the South Plains area, around Houston, in that area, and then Hidalgo County, which is in the Rio Grande Valley. Why does this matter? Well, this matters because this is a basic guarantee of the Constitution. This matters because the Latino community should have the right to choose among candidates of their choice. So if they are distributed among other districts, which is whitewashing, which is what's been happening in the past, where Latinos are placed in districts, are divided into districts where they don't have that much power, well then their constitutional right to choose from the candidates of their choice is diminished. They can't do that. The advancement of Latinos politically, the advancements of Latinos in education and in business should be mirrored one against the other. They should all rise at the same time. It's easier to have educational advancement if we have more representation in politics. It's easier to have more representation in politics if we have more representation in business. So this is what the fight is right now. MALDEF is leading the charge. We want 5. The guy that's the head of the committee says you're going to have 1. It's important because we've been fighting these same fights in Texas for decades. This isn't anything new to the Latino community, not in Texas. So while other communities across the country may not have this fight on their hands right now, they will. And when they do, there will already be precedent. There will already be this is how it's done sort of manual that's been put together because of these fights happening right now in Texas. So it's not to be Texas-centric, but it's to focus a light on what's happening in Texas right now and how that's going to affect what's going to happen across the rest of the country in the not-too-distant future, because the Latino community is growing at that huge rate that we now all know. So we need to pay attention to what the fight is, how it's going to unfold, and what is at stake. Political representation is at stake. 5 districts, not just 1. And with those 5, the Latino voice will increase. But not only the Latino voice will increase, we will be able to achieve political parity in the sense that we will be able to choose, the community will be able to choose from the candidates of their choice. We will put these candidates up and we will choose. And it's not so much, okay, we're going to choose from the candidates somebody else gives us. We're going to choose from the candidates that our own community puts forth. That's what's at stake. And that is equal. That is really political parity. And that's what we're fighting for. That's what MALDEF is fighting for. And the legislators in Texas who have a vote in the matter, who have a say in the matter, hopefully will step up and align themselves with this way of seeing the political reality. And of course, in News Taco, we're going to be on top of this, and we're going to let you know how things are working out in Texas, because as I say, it matters to the rest of the community. Anyway, nos vemos. Que pasen buen día. Adiós.